Hi, everybody, and welcome to Know You Matter. I'm Jacqueline,
And I'm Lauren.
and we are the Blondes Restoration Limited.
I don't know, I can't help it. Something happens in my head. It's like a game show.
It is a bit like a game show. I feel quite important today. I feel like I'm starting us off.
Intro does.
I am.
She's
I've
feeling
brought us
brave.
in. Yes. And actually, I really do want to do this because I'm conscious that we have spoken in the last however many episodes we're on about coaching, about the nervous system. We talk quite a bit about a lot of the things that I've been focused on, and we do talk quite a lot about each other,
Just us in our
and where
lives.
we're at. I though would like to talk to you about your side of the business. And a very interesting thing has just happened. If anybody is listening to this now and going, "Oh, Lauren's side of the business," because Lauren focuses on business strategy. Very interestingly, when I was saying to Lauren, "Oh, how would you? Is there a way you'd like me to kind of go in with this, or what do you want to say?"
Intro this.
She just went, "Yes, and it's the boring side, blah blah blah," and I just went, "That is not how I see strategy at
I
all.
don't think it's boring.
I don't think it's boring."
Actually, she didn't say that. She just went strategy.
Yeah, because for me, like having a strategy means you're going to get to where you want to get
Cool.
to. Yeah, it is cool, and not my forte. Let's be very clear here, which is
Jaqueline's fantastic with the ideas.
yeah, I
and
like
the optimism.
and I do know some of the how.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A lot of the how, and there are definitely, and this is the beauty, isn't it, of the two of us
Yeah.
working together, is that I bring this, you bring that, and it's how we
Yeah.
work together as a whole
Yes.
that makes a difference. So, yeah, tell me,
Tell you.
tell me. That sounds really weird. Talk to me about your side of the business.
When we did a strategy session, we did a really good one. And that was when we decided actually the podcast was going to be a fucking priority. Because we were like, no, we need to do this. We need to spend more time together. Because we'd kind of got this thing where we were both working on separate arms of the business. And it felt like we were kind of going in two different directions. And it was like, hang on, we want to pull this back, right? Because we both work for the same business. This is our business, the Blondes Restoration. And our motto is Know You Matter. So you bring that through into personal coaching and leadership training and facilitation and all that kind of stuff. And I bring it through into business strategy and messaging. So it's taken me a long time to work out what I do for people because there was a period where I almost went into social media management. And then literally I got a client who wanted to work with me and I was like, oh no, I don't want to do this. This isn't it. So, and then I pivoted and then I was doing a lot of like done for you stuff. So I was building people's brands and building people's websites and like I don't mind that, but it still wasn't right. And then I've now figured it out. And I figured it out because of what we do. For me, it's incredible how Know You Matter weaves into what I do so much. So I'm actually going to take a step back because we've just talked about in our most recent podcast that came out last week, we talked about body dysmorphia and, that impact on us and like the sort of that need to be slim that we don't adhere to anymore, but we still hear that voice and that kind of thing. And one of the things for me, I had a brilliant coaching session yesterday free with a phenomenal coach called Jenna Holloway. And we were talking about like, what's your current blocker in your business? Because it was just this hour where there was loads of us on there and we were just going to try and get past something each. And I was like, I'm obviously very good at strategy. I'm really good with tech. Like none of that scares me. I'm really good at knowing what I need to do to do things and move forwards. And I'm not afraid of being visible. So I don't understand where my blocker is that's stopping me from being as successful as I know I can be and that I see myself as being. And in that conversation, I realized I'm actually terrified of being visible. And that I'm only happy being visible when it's on my terms.
Yeah.
So when I know how I look and I can see how I'm going to come across and I can anticipate what people are going to think of me. Because if there's an ounce of possibility that people are going to think I'm stupid, a failure or a liar, because that's one that came up, is I'm really afraid of being called a liar. I felt myself get emotional when we talked about it. It was this like overwhelming thing with like this visibility. And you might be sat there thinking like, what does this have to do with business strategy? But it's everything because we can have the biggest, best, like planned out to the millisecond, planned around our lives as they are right now. So like, because when I plan, I don't plan against my ideal week. I plan against the assumption that I'm going to have a toddler who's not sleeping. Like, I plan with the assumption that I'm going to need an hour in an afternoon because I'm not going to be able to know my own name. Like, I plan these things out. That's how the strategy works and doesn't burn me out.
Yeah.
Because I'm not planning as though I'm an influencer with 27 hours in a day. If the subconscious part of you has something stopping you from taking that forwards, then you're not going to be able to take it forward. Something will, like, you'll create something to block it. And that's what it'll be. And so for me, it's like, oh, well, nobody's taking my post seriously or whatever it is. And it's not that. It's just that I've not been showing up as me, like, at all. And interestingly, so for the first time since we've recorded these podcasts, right, we're in here and the laptop is facing me. And it isn't normally, it normally faces Mum and she presses start recording, stop recording. And it's facing me. And editing the podcast has been a bit of a ride for me because I haven't been able to sit in front of the laptop and measure what I look like while I'm talking before. So whatever happens when I'm editing, I just have to accept whatever it looks like. But often I'll be like, oh, double chin. Or I'll be like, I pull a lot of funny faces. I pull a lot of funny faces. Sorry. And like I don't notice them when I'm doing them, and then I was watching it back and I'm like, why do I do that? So it's like, actually there's a visibility thing where it's like, if we're seeing too much of ourselves, that can be quite difficult as well.
Bearing in mind we were never supposed to.
Yeah, no.
You were never supposed to see your face or our...
No.
Even a mirror. Mirrors didn't exist at one point.
No.
I mean, oh my word.
No, that would have been nice, wouldn't
I
it?
know.
Although
Imagine.
I wouldn't have been able to see this morning how great my purple eyeliner looks, and that would have been upsetting.
It did look beautiful, just so you know.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
come back to that.
So the reason I'm talking about this is because, so I do strategy and messaging, but the thing is that none of that matters if the underneath stuff isn't come along with it. So actually, you know, I'm not a coach, I'm not a specialist in nervous system or anything, but we do a lot of work together, and you know, we do a lot of talking about what needs to be there for people. I've done positive intelligence myself twice, because it's so useful. So it means that what I've started to do is be able to spot for people when things are happening for them, to stopping them moving forwards with their business, right? So messaging is one of my favourite things to work on with people. I absolutely love working on people's message. And you might be sitting there like, what the fuck does that mean? It's how you talk about your business. How do you get across to your clients what you're doing? And there's this thing at the minute, and it gives me a twitch that's happening, where people use all of these fancy words for what they're doing. And yes, to a certain point, they're okay because they are describing what you're doing. That's absolutely fine. But if we did this first when we first started working, right, was we kind of lent into this like alignment and all this shit.
That you went really quiet then.
Sorry.
It's almost like you shouldn't say that out loud.
Oh, I know. It's because I feel bad. Because I know that it sounds good, right? I know that it sounds good. But the reason people talk like that is because they think that what they actually want to say isn't good enough. So the reason people have these fucking Instagram bios that are like, step into your power. What does that mean?
All right, don't call me out live.
Well, I'm not, because yours doesn't look like that anymore. But it's like, actually there's a fear for people because it's comfortable, right? It's comfortable hiding behind ChatGPT. It's comfortable hiding behind it because there's a thing where if I write my copy and I write my newsletters and I write my Instagram bio, my content and all that kind of shit using something else, if I let it tell me what it thinks I should say, and it uses the average, right? It's not sentient. It's not actually clever, but it doesn't sound like us. So we're like, oh, that's good because it doesn't sound like me. What? Like, and then can you imagine? Because I had this conversation with someone the other day, right? Can you imagine if my sales page didn't have swearing in it? Can you imagine if my sales page wasn't a total northern lass with a fucking problem? Like, who is enthusiastically like, you borrow my enthusiasm for you until you find your own, right? Because I am in for your business. If my page didn't have that, and it was like, oh, I help business owners who want to feel like they're aligned with what they truly love. If I was talking like that, because that's what ChatGPT wants me to say, if I was talking like that on my sales page and then someone came into a call with me and I was like, you all right, mate? How's it going? Tell me why you fucking hate your business. Can you imagine? Can you,
So,
like...
so for you, it's about what you're saying is about, when we talk about authenticity, it's about who I am, isn't it? It's about showing
Yeah.
up as I am, because that matters.
Yeah, and it feels risky as shit.
And it does feel risky, because actually then
Feels really
people are
risky.
likely. Can I do a little sidestep on somebody that's just popped into my head?
100%. Let's go.
Only because I haven't seen it on television for ages. And Steph McGovern, because it is that bit about,
Being
you know,
yourself.
she said, this wouldn't be me, this wouldn't be right if I wasn't owning that I'm from Middlesbrough and I'm from the Northeast and I am who I am.
Yeah.
So that just made me think of that, because if it's okay just to reflect on what you said from
Yeah,
my own
100%.
personal point of view, you know, that the fear of stepping into, and I can hear Brené Brown's words in my head, the fear of stepping into the arena. And the arena for me was this coaching arena with all of these, you know, these incredible people that had trained me, you know, all of the people in my past, you know, the coaching, the training and development that I'd done, these people that I admired and looked up to, and now I'm stepping into. I could hear these words
your
go.
voice.
How I was daring to step
Yeah.
into, you know, this like middle-aged woman from Middlesbrough who dares to step into this arena and be like, right, hang on a second, like with this
Yeah.
accent, and be like, hang
Yeah.
on, you know, and I don't like big words and fancy words, and can I just say what it is? And
Yeah.
I don't tend to use swear words as much as you, but I do
No.
like a good swear word, just so you know. And yet,
Yeah, no,
it's-
I realise that I have a
yeah,
problem.
it's that. No, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's lush. And it's that though. It's that whole thing of, I still think I struggle with that, and I know we're still working on it.
Yeah.
Because that's the bit. I wanna show up and just be who I am, and
Yeah.
talk about these things that I'm passionate about, and in the way that I'm passionate about them. And yet, and this is really important, I know, and let's go back to what we were talking about, you know, like you said, about kind of how I see myself and the risky business
Yeah.
of being myself and
Yeah.
putting myself out there for other people to judge me
Yeah.
is that, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
you know, I
And
know
there's
that's
a
been important to you.
Yeah, there's a separation that happens when you use things like ChatGPT, because they're not judging you.
Yeah.
And like, I get that safety. I get that comfort, because I sat under it for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, and it's only very recently that that's switching for me, where I'm very much realizing that it just can't capture who I am. Like, and I do use it. I use it for helping me with ideas and for refining things, where I'm like, hang on, I think I've repeated myself 12 times in this newsletter. Can you just let me know? You know, but I specifically get it to talk to me in a way that's unbiased as well. Like, don't tell me I'm good. I'm not interested in hearing that. I want to hear what this looks like from a client's perspective, that kind of thing. And it is, yeah, so that safety of, where if I talk like everyone else, I'm not going to get judged. But if you talk like everyone else, no one's going to hear you. And there's a real thing on social media at the minute, you know, with this like fucking bland, beige, faceless content that goes around. And a lot of it is lovely. Like, and there's some really lovely information out there, and there's some lovely quotes. And there are some things, and I'm not necessarily suggesting that they're bad for people, because I don't think that is. And I think if you can make money that way, then you do you, boo. Like, well done. But our business, I would say this, and feel free to disagree with me, but I would say that our business is not a business that is beige or bland or full of motivational quotes. We are not a business that is trying to quietly get by. We are trying to make a fucking difference. Our she's laughing.
There's a word, I'll use it in a minute. Finish your sentence.
Our mission, we wrote this ages ago, and I've been talking about it a lot recently, right? Online and in my content and things. Our mission is to reach 9 million women and spread the message of know you matter. That's what we want to do. And that comes with a fucking backbone. And it comes with the ability to stand up and say what I mean, enunciate my words, and be fucking heard. And that is not going to happen if I just quietly say what other people think, and it's just like, oh, well, they've said it before, but let me say it again. You know what I mean? Like, that isn't going to happen. Like, I've got to put my shoulders fucking back. I've got to own it. And it's the colourful, right? Like, our business is colour. We're yellow and teal and dark blue and gold, and we love the kintsugi stuff and like all of that kind of shit. And that means that if I want people to be part of this as a movement, because that's what this business is, right? That's why we're doing the coaching. It's why we're doing the strategy. It's because we want to build a space where women know they matter, so they can feel, think, and act like they matter, and run business like they matter. Because I reckon right now What the world needs is women who know they matter so they can build a society where everyone fucking knows it. That's what we're trying to do. Because when you know you matter, you treat other people like they matter. And when you know you matter in your business and you step up and you speak in your voice in your business and you put your shoulders fucking back and you take that people aren't going to like you, if you get trolls and haters, you are doing it right.
Come out there.
Like, because it means that you're turning off the wrong people. But do you know what happens when you do that? Is you turn on the right ones.
Turn on the right ones. It is reaching out to the right people, isn't it?
We're calling in the women who... And we're not suggesting that everybody has to be big, bold and brash. Like, it isn't about that. It's about being whatever you want to be. Because there are days where I don't want to be that. But that's what it comes back to. What was the word that you had in your head?
Disruptor.
Oh, I love that. That was not what I thought you were going to say.
No, I know, but I knew it's been, the word isn't leaving me
Disruptor.
at the moment. It's like, I feel like I need to disrupt something.
Oh, I can feel that. Oh, I'm moving. You can probably hear my chair. Sorry.
You know, it's really interesting.
Pattern disruptor.
When you talk to me, because that's who I want. I want to embody that, and I say I want to because at the moment I'm not fully there, and yet I am in
so many ways
with my clients.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we do, and it's about people not tolerating stuff anymore, and you know, things that they've just because that's their patterns and the way that they've. Do not. What was that?
Fuck the status quo.
Fuck the status quo. Yeah.
Oh my god! Well, that's the name of this podcast.
But it is that. It's about, you know, I think that's it. I've really done some soul searching on you know what is it for me again behind this business, because I think that's the beauty of doing this, is that we show up in our messiness and the gloriousness of being human and everything that's going on for us, and that's what I want to be. I want to be truthful about my own experiences, and I struggle with that sometimes, and you are so much more able to do that and be honest, and you know, in such a beautiful way, Lauren, that I admire. And I know that a part of that is because I've got 20 odd years of history before you were even born that probably, you know, shut me down a little bit, and then
generationally as well.
Yeah, and also later, you know, not feeling like what I said was said in the right way, or you know, it came across in the right way, and that whole thing about, you know, this visibility and just. I just want to be me. I don't want to be a version that you want of me, because it is that. You know, let's come back to what I said on the last podcast where you were like, you're going to tell that story, aren't you? And it was about, you know, there'll be 10 people. No, the 10 people in front of you, and 10 people that you might not like any of those 10 people, but you're expecting all 10 of them to like you. And it's that bit. I've lived with that thing of, I want people to like me. And I know that it's linked to people pleasing tendencies. Oh, my words are getting quick, but it's that, and it's this bit about disrupting that, because I am not that person, and I can see these versions, and I'm still evolving. Yeah, and I don't have to be that carbon copy of, you know, all of the other people that are in the arena with me. And I'm not standing out because it's like I just want to stand out. I just want this opportunity to use my voice because I feel that matters, and yours matters, because I believe the other people around me matters, and I believe that this is about listening and, you know, people having this opportunity, because that's what, for me, that's what's missing in this world. And if you want to go global, that's what's missing, because we are not listening. People think they know better. People think that they can control, and it's like, no, hang on a second. No. And we have a responsibility right now. This is why we need to disrupt. We have a responsibility right now in this world, because what's happening is echoing what happened. I saw a reel this morning that was about how, you know, certain patterns are happening that are sending us back to what happened in the 1950s for women, that are shutting us up. And it's like,
there are so many patterns repeating right now.
And that's it. And it's
look
like,
at what's happening across the world.
But we are not, as women, we are not in the same place as we were in the 1950s. We didn't have as much information. We didn't know we didn't have the experiences. We didn't know the science.
Freedoms. Like the abilities to walk away.
But you know what? We bloody do now. Yeah. We do now. And for me, that's what this visibility, that's what I feel Blondes is about. That's what it's about. And it is this disruption. We need to disrupt these patterns that have just... our automatic, that subconscious part of you that believes that you need to be pretty to
Yeah,
be able to be successful. The
successful.
part of me that thinks I have to be slim to be loved, because that's what I learn.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
Yeah.
And also, you know what, that I need to calm myself down and I shouldn't bring my passion and I don't need to be this woman. But do you know what? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Interestingly, because if you were watching Mum there, you saw that she sat up and she was really loud and quick, and there was a little voice in my head that was like, calm down. And I didn't say it because it's not me. But
It's
there's
interesting.
Prob's dad, Prob's dad. But that, like, calm down, like, and that's what we tell ourselves. And you said something earlier, right, about being liked, and that if you had 10 people in front of you, probably wouldn't like them. So why do we want to be liked? I think the urge to be liked, the pattern of trying to be liked, is keeping women small in business, because we are taught to be small, to be quiet, and to be liked, right? And it is supposed to be for men. But the point is about being liked is that like wanting to be liked is stopping women from raising their prices. Wanting to be liked is stopping women from sharing their honest opinions.
Yeah, that's the
which
bit.
might be polarizing, and that is okay, right? Wanting to be liked is stopping women from showing up regularly and going, oh, but I don't want to annoy them. Oh, but I don't want to annoy. Do you know how many of my clients say that to me? When I'm like, we need to post all of the time. And I'm not saying that like, you have to post every day. I'm not saying that. But if you're marketing correctly, you should fucking bore yourself. You should be saying what you're saying so often that you are like, I am a broken fucking record. Because people need to hear things over and over and over and over again.
And sometimes in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
And in a different voice.
That's what marketing is, really. It's just
Yeah.
saying the same thing 34,972 different ways.
You know, it's so funny because I think this is this thing about, you know, that I've just said to you about that spiral. Because I saw a beautiful visual of this the other day, and it is literally like a spiral, but it's flat, 2-dimensional. And then next to it, you've got the 3-dimensional version, and it's like life
talked
is
about
not
this
this.
before.
Yeah, life is this.
Yeah, you're not going round in circles. It feels like you are, but you're going round and going
spiral. So,
and it's getting wider every time. You're
Exactly.
expanding every time.
And so every time you reach a point where you hit this, and I feel like we're at
Similar
a point
thing.
again, this visibility thing, we hit this point, and it's like, right, now you have to remember, though, you've got all of this other experience.
Yeah,
not
and we've
hitting it
talked
at the
about
same
this
point.
before,
Yeah, we
because
have.
actually in the first year of our business, we were terrified to show up.
Yeah.
Like, terrified to show up for a lot of reasons
A lot
that
of
we
reasons.
know of.
Yeah.
And then, you know, in our second year of business, we used our partnership with a different company to kind of hide behind, and we kind of did that. And then in our third year of business, you know, we started to step out and started to be a bit braver. And I took the step and launched this side, but it's still not until very recently that it's been like, hang on, what are we doing? Like, and we even said that this morning. It's like, we are censoring ourselves because that's what we're doing. And it, you know, this coaching session I had yesterday that was talking about this visibility thing for me, I am very aware that one of my skills is being able to listen to what people are saying and hear what they're actually saying. It's a thing, right? So someone tells me what their business is, and I'm like, that's not it, because that's not what your clients are looking for. That's not what they want. Like, we know what they need. So, for example, it's just an example that I think might help people. Mum, you work with nervous system regulation, right? And that's an incredible tool, understanding the nervous system, not necessarily being regulated all the time, but knowing, you know, how to move through different states of the nervous system. And that's a very reductive description, but let's just go with that. If your posts and your website and your stuff talked about, here's how to regulate your nervous system, here's how to move from the dorsal state to the what, like, if your stuff was talking about that, 90% of your clients wouldn't have a fucking clue you're talking to them, because they've never heard of the nervous system, or they've heard of it but never understood that it applies to them. They don't get that. So I have no issues with words like empowerment and alignment and overwhelm and confidence and nervous system regulation. I have no problem with those words. My problem is that people don't understand what you're talking about. And it's not that they don't understand it because they're stupid. It just doesn't relate to them. So that's it. That's what finding your message is about. It's finding the way to talk about what you do in a way that makes sense to them in the moment they're in. And each time you talk about it, you choose a specific person and a specific moment. right? So for you, it might be, it's 5:17 p.m. The kids are all home from school and their uniform is strewn across the floor. You're in the middle of cooking dinner, which you're not going to eat because you're currently eating a different thing because you're on a diet. Your husband's off doing the fucking mowing the lawn or something, even though your kids have got the music too loud and they need to be fixing that. And what you're going to do in that moment is you're going to reach for a bar of chocolate and shove it in your face because that's going to make you feel better. And then you go in to say, hang on, before you do that, this is what's happening. You are feeling this wound up, this unsafe, this whatever. And then you start, explaining it in terms of, and then you go, this is nervous system dysregulation. So you've got this very real situation that someone fucking steps into and goes, yeah, that's me. And then they go, oh, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what that is. So we talk about like getting more confident, but what does that actually mean? Well, it means when my husband turns around and goes, oh, I'm not sure about those earrings. I go, I don't give a shit about your opinion. That's my confidence. It's knowing that, do you know what I mean? It's like, overwhelm. What's overwhelm? Well, actually, overwhelm is opening an email and wanting to cry, even though logistically I know there's nothing to cry about because the email itself isn't the problem.
No, it's because actually
It's because there's so many
much
things that have come up.
Yeah, and I'm not focused on what's going on for me emotionally.
So I'm opening an email and I want to cry.
Yeah.
But if I was like, here's how to fix your overwhelm, that person who's just read that email and wanted to cry isn't going to get that because they don't know that they're overwhelmed. So that's what I do, is I pull the threads of what it really looks like out of people, and the way that I do it is I mix it with strategies, because it's like, oh yeah, well, it's all good and well. I turn around and go, oh, I see what I do. That's the thing, right? The moment for me is when someone goes, oh, that's what I do, because we build these businesses, right? But you still don't know what you do. Like it took years for you to get that sentence, feel, think, and act like you matter. Because it's really hard to work out what you actually do for other humans. And it's quite egotistical, it feels like sometimes, to talk about it as well, but we have to. And then, putting it into a strategy. How do you talk about it? How do you build a business that embodies that? And we just talked about embodiment.
Yeah, because what is strategy? What in its essence, what is it? Because you mentioned earlier about, you create a strategy for your life that is a real life strategy.
Yeah.
In that you can build a business around a toddler.
Yeah.
And gluten-free, and celiac. So having a chronic illness, all of these kind of things. So actually it's that, isn't it?
Yeah. So a strategy, so a lot of people, when you're like, oh, have you got a business strategy? People are like, oh yeah, because they've got a to-do list. And yes, your to-do list is part of your strategy, but there are pieces missing from that. So the pieces missing from a to-do list that turns it into a strategy is, number one, what's your goal? You need to know what you're aiming for, but you need to know why you're aiming for it. You need to know what you've already got that's going to help you work towards that to-do list, and what you don't have. Because it might be that something's on my to-do list like fix this page on our website, but I don't know how to do that. So I need to know that at some point I'm going to have to either learn or I'm going to call somebody in. So I'm looking at what's actually happening, and I'm thinking about who can, who can't, what resources have I got, what energy have I got, what time have I got, that kind of thing. And the thing that a lot of people miss is the prioritization. So prioritization and strategy are like so interweaved, because I think as business owners it's so fucking easy to focus on the shit that's comfortable but doesn't do anything. And that's what I did when we first opened. Like, I fucked about with our logo consistently. I kept redrawing it. Like, I did that when we started the website. I ended up drawing loads of pictures that I'm going to delete off it soon because I don't like them. Like, I wasted time doing this stuff that felt good and that felt productive, but it was just productive procrastination, because the stuff that, I hate the term moves the needle, right? Because it's a super ChatGPT term that loads of people are using at the minute, but that's what it does. It moves the needle. Like, that's what we need to be aware of. So a strategy isn't just like writing out all the shit you need to do and putting it into your calendar.
Yeah.
It's, why are you doing it? How are you going to do it? And then what do you actually need to do? What do you actually need to do? And what are you doing to avoid what feels uncomfortable? So people do that in loads of different ways, like across their social media, across their marketing, across their business. You know, I just talked about pissing about with my logo, but people who make posts for the sake of making posts instead of them being linked to a business goal. Because if you're posting on Instagram but it's not linked to a goal, whether it's to get followers or to nurture them to trust you or to sell, like why are you doing it? That, and I was going to say 10, 15 minutes, but let's not lie to ourselves. I've spent a lot of time learning how to make a reel in 10 minutes. But if you sat down to make a reel, it'd probably take you 45 minutes or longer.
All right.
No, only because, you know, I've done a lot of practice.
Yeah.
There's a reason my social media is as busy as it is, and because I love it. You know, that imagine what you could have done in that time if you had a prioritization list. So I got here before the podcast recording, and I sat down and I looked and I was like, right, I've got 16 minutes. And then what would have been easy is to go, what can I do in 16 minutes? I can't do anything in 16 minutes. I'll just sit, piss about on my phone and doom scroll. But I have a system that I've built that tells me what my priorities are and that I've got it like leveled and things like that. And I love it. And it really works for me. And I went on that and I was like, what could I do? And I was like, I could put all of my copy into the basic template of my website in 15 minutes, because it's just copy and paste. It's just putting the headers in and stuff. I could put all of that in, save it and come back to it to make it pretty later. But it now exists, and I did it, snapped it out in 15 minutes because I knew, and that is important.
Yeah.
Because I need to know that people are going somewhere. Because the work that I'm doing on social media is sending people somewhere. There will now be the possibility for organic traffic coming into that page. But I knew that that's a real key priority for the business. And I've been putting our website off for years. And it was a great conversation with a great business friend of mine who we were looking at working with, but it just, in terms of the technology, didn't match up. And it was the conversation with her that made me go, I'm not prioritizing what's important. And that's what's really shifted for me. So that's the thing, right? Because we've talked about before the concept of being a small business owner. And do we let the term small business owner stop us from really seeing what's possible? I truly believe there is enough money and enough possibility and enough stuff in the world that whether you do this by yourself or with a team or whatever, there is the possibility of earning a lot of money in business. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's not about money, because it is. Because we want more women to have more money. We need women to have that, because studies show that women put back into the communities, studies show that women support other women, studies show that women support things like kids and education and all those kinds of things. We need women with money right now. That's what we need. And I am trying really hard to help women build businesses that give them time with their kids, time to rest and be, you know, and paint, or that's what I do.
That creativity.
You know what I mean? Like be creative, or go to the gym, or go to Zumba, or whatever it is that you fucking love doing, and have a successful business and earn money. It's not all. I worked with a client who we're talking about expansion, and there was like this natural blocker that kept happening where every time we did it, it was like, and I could see it when we were talking, and I was like, there's something happening here. And I asked her a question. I was like, mate, can I ask, when I talk about you getting this many clients, what does that make you think of? And she was like, being really fucking busy. And I was like, why? Because we're building the systems and we're building the, you know, the way that you work and all of that stuff that doesn't that doesn't equate. But if you sit and you think about, you know, if you right now, if I was like, right, okay, you've got £25,000 months just from what you do, what's your automatic reaction? What does that look like for you in terms of working? Now, this is where it's like, it's different, right? Because we've done the work.
So I just started to giggle. I could feel myself giggling in that because, and interestingly, I went to look to see if did the thought come up that went, oh my word, how many clients would I need for that? But it didn't. And actually I was like, yes, go us.
Yeah, because we've worked out how to do it with the things we're putting in place, right?
That's what, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Because why not? Because we can. But if I asked you that question, so if you're listening to this and you're running your own business, or you've got a side hustle, don't call it a fucking side hustle either. It's your business, just so you're aware. If my question is, you know, what does earning more money look like to you? If your answer is being exhausted, being burnt out, working too many hours, staying up late, and now there's nothing wrong with that, because I was fucking writing threads at 10 o'clock last night, but I was just riding a hyper-focus. I was just letting it happen. Because that's the way I work well.
And also, can I just mention on that? Because I think that's the bit, isn't it? Is that I will choose to work at different times of the day depending on when I feel the most productive. And actually, at the moment, mornings are not a time for me. They are more sometimes for you, and then sometimes it's later for you. And I find, late morning, into the afternoon, this is a great time for me. And I might
which
then
is
take
the
a
opposite
break.
for me, because hit 12 o'clock and I need a break. I need to walk away from it.
So I think it's that, isn't it? So I do just want to come back to that, but I think it is that bit, isn't it? That it's just really important. There's a saying that just keeps coming up for me when you're talking about being of service to other people, and I think that's where you think about as a woman running her own business. Actually, you become of service to other people when other people begin to be able to support you with that. Because actually, at £25,000 months, we will need help.
I did a post today, but it was like, and we haven't hired anyone yet.
I saw that and I was giggling.
Like, that's a big yet.
I think it's that. I think it's this way in which you give back, because you're so right. The more that I show up as me, the more that actually I build a business that means something to me, and I begin to receive the things that I was looking for. For me,
and you're going to be able to continue it for a very long time because it feels right.
And you're able to do it. It's not exhausting. And me, at the beginning of all of this, that was a big worry for me.
Yeah.
I had come out of a third burnout.
The fear
and I did not want to go back into that.
Yeah.
And yet what I'm realizing is I don't need to.
No.
It's like, and actually I can manage my diary. I can look at what I'm doing. We can look at how we're working, what we're offering, what we're delivering. And it's really interesting in that when you do that, when actually we work, and I think this is the bit that joins us both, which is what we've talked about, when you're supporting women in business do that and show up as themselves and reach these other women or men or whoever they're working with, become, the versions of themselves or get this service. It's the ripple effect of all of that, which is what we're talking about with these 9 million women that we want to reach. And it's being disruptive of these patterns. Because, just recently, even because I was just thinking there about how that mirrors the work that I'm doing with clients, where, these people that I'm working with respond differently to the people around them. They're more supportive of the people around them. I've got a client at the moment who, is getting out there and has wanted for ages to go and get PT sessions, which in essence is supporting another business in the area.
This is it.
It's going to go and join a netball group, and we'll have done it when we do this. And all of that, and how people are noticing how this person's showing up differently, and the impact that has on them. And it's that, isn't it? Because if I show up as a business owner that is relaxed and is enjoying it and able to enjoy my life in a different way, because actually, I can feel it. Here's the disruptor bit. Here's the disruptor. Who says I have to work 9 to 5? Who says I have to do all of these things? Who says I can't work?
Who says it has to be hard?
Exactly?
Who says it has to be hard? Now, I am very aware that, and we've talked about this before, when you first start a business and when you're building systems and when you're starting something new, there is a period of hard work.
Whirlwind.
There is, right? Of course there is. Like, if you're starting something, there's that period where, first of all, entrepreneurship is a wild ride. Like personal development on crack. I saw someone talk about it as once, and I 100% agree, because you have so much to work through to get to the visibility, to get to your message, to get to knowing who you want to embody in your business, and whether that's a service or a product. Right, that still has to be a thing. If you've come back into this point, I've just cut a massive section because we completely lost our train of thought.
It's very rare we do
that. Was wild.
We posted it.
Just dunk, whatever.
For both
somebody took that.
Yeah, like literally left.
Whoever's using that idea, we hope it's going really well for you. Anyway, so we were talking about the fact that, like, who says this has to be hard? Who says that? Oh, that's what we were talking about. We're talking about the beginning of business and the fact that it, there's going to be hard work while you figure all these different things out. But the point is, right, is if you are constantly living with, when this bit stops, and this comes back to what we were talking about earlier, I'll be happy when, I'll be successful when, I'll be able to rest when, then you're always going to be waiting for it. We have to build a strategy that fits your life now. So because it's like that thing, right? I'll start at the gym when I've got more time, then you're never going to do it. We have to find the way to make exercise something you want to do now. And it's the same with your business. Like, and I fell into a trap when we first started where I was like, well, I'll just work evenings and weekends for the next 6 months while this gets built. I'll just do that because that's what needs to happen for us to push through this hard part. And I kept telling myself and kept telling myself and kept telling myself, and then kept getting to a part where I was pissed off at it. I was pissed off that I was working weekends. No one was making me fucking do it.
Yeah, I'd like to, as your business partner,
Like
I am not.
no one was making me do it, but I was telling myself this thing. I was like, oh well, I'll just work a little bit harder. I'll just work a little bit more.
It's interesting because actually how deep that was, and I would like to bring back that's so again. I'm going to bring about positive intelligence because I do keep bringing it back because actually there's your judge,
bring it back,
and your saboteurs, the accomplice saboteurs, because actually the judgment of
Hyperachiever.
yourself, exactly.
You're only worth something if you're busy.
That's it. And for you, you were not a business owner unless actually you were busy and you were overworking. And I'm watching you going,
that's not what I want.
This is not what
this is not what I want. This is not what I
exactly. We did not go into this for this. In
Shopping.
fact, can I just point out the complete opposite of what we talk about?
Yeah.
Like, and how, bearing in mind, we've talked about being burnt out, lovely, and no.
Yeah.
So I'm there
Hold
and
the
trying to
phone.
support you with that and having those questions. But your judge
Yeah, it was mean.
was mean.
And the lols of it, right? Because the thing is, the lols is that people hear this, right? And they go, oh yeah, cool. Because their judge goes, that's not true.
Yeah.
It does have to be hard work equals success. Fuck off. I work less now than I did, and I am more productive now than ever. Because I'm doing the shit I'm supposed to be doing.
Because you're
I'm doing the shit.
prioritising.
The
That's
prioritization, and people don't see it.
Yeah.
And the thing is there's nothing wrong with that because when you start a business to become a coach or to be a hypnotherapist or to be, to run weight loss groups or whatever it is that you work on, you're not taught how to be a business owner. You do it because you're good at the service. The business bit's hard work. And I have learned the business bit as we've grown this. And because I had a failed business before this. Like, I've learned and seen, and actually the common denominator for things not moving as well as I've planned them to or hoped they were going to has been pushing against myself instead of going with my own flow and not using my own voice. They're the two common denominators. Yeah. Because whenever I'm in a space where I trust the strategy and where I trust my voice, we grow. My side of the business grows. And when I lose that and the judge comes back out and goes, no, just talk like everybody else, it quietens off. Every time. Like, and I am my own case study. I'm a physicist, right? I thrive on evidence, and the evidence is overwhelming. I had a client who had been really scared to go specific. So we talk about niching, right? People think niching is choosing a topic. It isn't. I had a client that was terrified, and we kind of went, what would it feel like if all of your clients came from this specific place? And we got really specific in this one reel, and the engagement on it went up by 700%.
Wow.
Because when you're specific and you know who you're talking to and why you're talking to them, people fucking listen. And that all comes back to knowing you matter.
Yeah.
Your voice has to be the first thing. And I would say, so wrapping this up, because we got really excited about this one, I would say if I was talking to a business owner and I just wanted to be like, and they were like, how would you even get started with it though? First question I'd ask, which is my favourite question because it's a lot easier, right? Because the first question a lot of people they go, what do you stand for? What do you stand for? Like, what's important in your business? Fuck that. That's really hard. What do you stand against? What are you really fucking against in your business? What in your niche pisses you off that you see other people doing? What is it about your business that you are vehemently, absolutely no to? So, like, for me, I am disgustingly set against hustle culture. I hate when people say sentences like, everyone's got the same 24 hours in a day. How about fuck off, Brittany? No, we don't. You got a toddler who was sick on you? No. Suck it. Like, so these are the things I'm vehemently against. And it's funny how when you start looking into what you're really against, if you look at the opposite of those, you find what you stand for. So I'm against hustle culture and I'm so what am I for? Well, I'm for ease and flow in business. But I would not have known that. I wouldn't have known the words to put to that unless I found out what I stood against. And that's the first exploration into standing for your voice and just going online and fucking saying it. I recommend Threads to business owners now as a place to start because Threads is low spoons.
Say what you mean about that.
So low spoons, spoons is like a neurodivergent thing specifically, but actually it works for everybody. if you have a certain amount of spoons every day and they represent your energy, you've only got a finite number of those spoons. Let's say I've got 12 spoons. And getting ready on a morning takes a spoon. Getting my toddler ready takes a spoon. And then you look at how many spoons you've got left, right? Making a reel might take 4 spoons. So I've got to know when to spend those spoons. But Threads is a 1 spooner, if that. Like, just go on and chat shit.
Well, you said little thoughts that pop in your head, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you're keeping a track of them in the notes.
Yeah, I've got an
section on your
inspiration
phone.
thing
It's
because I don't want to post constantly because like I don't want to do that, and because I know that there will be days where my brain gives up on that and
Yeah.
doesn't have inspiration. So I've got a bank of stuff that I can post. But generally, like I'll just pop on and be like, this is what's happening and this is what I think about it. And it isn't if you went on without the purpose being engagement, if you just went on with practicing speaking in your voice and that being the goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Say it how you would say it. And you look, if you want to use ChatGPT, because I do, it's brilliant, read it out loud. Because you'll find that when you read it out loud, you naturally put extra words in.
it.
Or you don't stop when it stops. So it might have like a full stop, but you don't read that, so delete it.
Yeah.
Like, just read it out loud and change the grammar and the formatting and add the words in so it sounds like it's dead easy.
Yeah.
Like, you can use it for the basics. That's absolutely fine. Like, we live in a society where business owners are under massive amounts of pressure to perform, and not using AI makes it more difficult. So I just don't have a judgment on it, whether you do or don't. If you don't, amazing. If you do, don't care. Like, just make it work. Use your voice. Anyway.
Well,
I didn't think that was going to be quite so emotive. There was a lot of like shoulders back, like we were going into battle, wasn't there?
And maybe our favourite word of the day.
Disruptor. Disruptor.
Disruptor.
Sounds like a dinosaur. Anyway,
on
that note, bye.
On that note, I would be very happy to be a dinosaur. A disruptor. I'm a disruptosaurus. I've decided most definitely. Well, Lauren, it was absolutely wonderful to to hear about your side of the business. And I think actually a lot of the things that you talked about, even if we've got people listening that don't run their own businesses, it'll really kind of resonate with them.
It works when you stand up for yourself at work.
Yeah,
and
all of that. Most definitely. So,
and if you do want to work with me, my direct framework, which is what I've built to build strategy, works for everything, including I've used it for house cleans, date nights, and planning out an allotment. Yeah. It works for fucking everything. So let me know if you want it.
Yeah. So there'll be details to get in touch within the show notes for people to go and be able to take a look
come
at.
And work with me.
Yeah,
I'm
and
a
come
lot
and
of
work
fun.
with you. You are a lot of fun. Yeah, I would. I mean, I'm 3.5 years in, love. I mean, it wouldn't be happening if you weren't.
All right. Fucking hell. Bye.
Yeah, have a great week. We'll see you soon.